I'm sorry. Stand up guy. Fuck y'all. See, when you get the wave, you can dictate. Giving niggas pressure on a mixtape. Play big bank, take lil bank. Boy, been special like a 38. Slick talk, never mind anyway. I'ma come and see you like a red late. Get a nigga crushed on a Wednesday. Chevy duty dirty, check the intake. Snapping on the beats like a photo. Looking for revenge if you don't know. When you got the wave, you can dictate. I don't give a fuck what a bitch say. Giving niggas pressure on the mixtape. Giving niggas pressure on the mixtape.
Alright, so today's video topic will be about the concept of property, because at the end of the day, that's kind of all thoughts are, and they're fleeting or semi-fleeting, because enough time passes, truth changes basically, and more importantly, what is morally right and wrong, and or legally right or legally accepted or not accepted. So, all right, so if you guys don't know me yet, my name is Dan, man with the $1 billion fucking plans. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Whether to say Dan the man with $1 billion plan or the $1 billion plans, because to be a decabillionaire, to get to a decabillionaire, you're gonna have multiple plans, right? It's not just one plan. So either way, I'll be going from back and forth or whatever. But anyways, if y'all don't know me yet, you will. So I'll be I guess it's tagging or whatever on the title here. See how many they let me do. So, all right, actually, I keep forgetting about this. So I'm about to retire here soon. That's what I'm saying, and I'm gonna be producing a shit ton of money. Of course, the Gamera. Shout out to the Gamera. You'll be seeing me driving that. I don't know when, but okay. So, all right. So. So I'm gonna make a video on this. That's why I'm making this, and I finally. Anyways, so basically, this is some backdrop information about myself, how I view the world, and of course, I know many people are not going to take the time to do the research, and I can't blame them. I can't blame them, especially if they're out here to do something bigger than themselves. So that's why I'm not really going to be in this arena or this date arena too long, but I'm going to put my tip my toes in there a little bit, and probably make a dent. All I really care is about people finding the system and using my system to benefit them. Obviously, people who love drama, they can keep watching those shows and I don't know, it's just whatever. So, oh yeah, other thing is I'll probably be saying this in a lot of videos, maybe a lot quicker, and maybe I'm just gonna systemize it. I'm gonna put a little clip in there saying, okay, look, before I want to put it in every video. That's gonna be very fast, but right now you guys are my experiment. Before you actually, watch my video, take the time to listen to these books. Right, this is my other channel. Take the time to listen to the Conversation with God books. I'm telling you, don't let the title fool you like it fooled me. You have never heard a God speak like this at all. So. But we can boil it down here into Dan the Man's cosmology, all right? So in a nutshell, life is the ultimate metaverse, and I'm using that vocabulary or whatever, or that label word, because it's hot right now, right? So, or virtual reality game. You can't lose or win, just like playing the make-believe game in real life. Again, this is not reality. This is the Matrix, but the Matrix points things, it kind of makes things like in a dark light. Again, that's what I said. It's just the metaverse. It's virtual reality game, right? It's a game. It's fun, right? Game equals fun, right? So, but yeah. So, when you die in the game, you don't really die, because again, this is not the reality. Your reality is, you can say the spirit world, heaven, nirvana, whatever. And neither are you a true victim or villain in the highest sense, because remember, you log into this avatar, you log into this game, okay? You choose what you want to experience. Now, of course, thinking in human terms, people are like, why would I choose to live in a life of poverty? Because when you have eternity, you can do whatever the fuck you want. There's no like I gotta get here this fast or whatever. Okay, so that's basically it. You're eternal. You can't die. You're like, okay, whatever. So I'm just gonna, just like when you choose different avatars, you can go fuck with them and they die or whatever. Like you just don't care, right? You might choose a different avatar, right? So life is a play, and all the actors are best friends behind the scenes. So when there's another way of looking at life. Okay, so yeah, like a play, whatever, right? Behind the scenes, you're all technical friends. Now, of course, in the real world, and let's say, but in high school, I was in an acting class, and I didn't like that actor or actress, and didn't like me. Again, an analogy. Again, that's why sometimes analogies are great, but sometimes the analogy can only take you so far, and then you just have to obviously extrapolate from the real world. But anyway, so yeah, everybody's friends. So what I'm trying to say by that. So the protagonist let's say the protagonist and the antagonist, right? So, or the protagonist is the victim, right? You incarnate into a life. This person comes, let's say, rapes you and kills you, right? You had a soul contract, in a sense, to experience that, right? So people, again, if you're like, why would I choose to get raped and killed or whatever? It's like, it's just like people who go to scary movies who want to fill, in a sense, their brains with what I consider garbage. Just because I wouldn't like it doesn't mean other people wouldn't like it, So, anyways, and since you are made in the image of that cannot be created nor destroyed, okay, you will choose all possible avatars in one lifetime to another, from the most destructive of beings to the highest of beings, i.e., you will be a Hitler and a Jesus. I can't say Jesus Christ, it's Jesus the Christ, but that's a whole other thing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not Jewish, Christian or anything like that. Again, there's more. Anyways, and everything in between, okay? So you're going to be from Hitler to Jesus, okay? Because there is no judging God, and it's just, again, it's an illusion, right? You need to have evil in order for there to be good in this dimension, in this virtual reality game, to have something to do. You need polarities. When you're in heaven, you're one energy. There's no matter. Okay, that's why when you have problems, right? People say, "What's the matter?" Because we're in matter, and we're making matter. All right. So and you're going to do. And when you die, you won't be rewarded or punished. So do what you want. You're gonna do it anyways. Okay. So apart from all the laws and all the fear, it doesn't matter. If the person really wants to do something, they will do it. Okay, so it doesn't matter it's against the law to kill, it's against the law to do this or that. It doesn't matter. People if they're gonna do it, they're gonna want to do it. All right. But just know this: you can't do anything right or wrong. In other words, you can't win or lose in the game of life. So, again, I'm going to have a kind of like a preface, quick little clip video, kind of breaking that down, or a direction to the video, actually. Yeah, I'll probably do that. Be like, hey, watch this video first. It's a quick little synopsis of where I'm coming from. So I don't want to hear, why are you judging, or this and that, or da 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 da. It's like, no, okay? All right, so now the topic of, treating women like property. Okay, I'm trying to figure out kind of a title, which I kind of just want a title because I've seen of another video where they have a really long title, and I guess YouTube makes it, well, I thought YouTube would cut it off, sort of. Anyways, all right, so basically, something came to my head, right? And talk is cheap. You'll hear me say that, but again, it's two truths can coexist. Words are pretty powerful as well, right? Oh shit. Okay. This particular crypto coin is pumping, but it's predicted. It's whatever. There might be a little fake out, but whatever. At this point, it'll be good to start dollar cost averaging it, for my opinion. Okay, this is not financially based, but that's on a whole other channel. We'll see we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see who finds me on my other channels and stuff like that and calls me out or whatever. But anyways, what was I saying? So yeah, so one day, I came to this kind of like realization and articulation. I'm like, it's interesting that women say they don't want to be treated like property, but they sure as hell and heaven want to be protected like their property, because no one protects something. Most people don't protect something with fury if they don't think it's their property, right? But then again, see, here's the thing. I see women treating men like their property, and again, at the end of the day, the worst, that's just a word you can utter out, okay? Because, how to put this? Because people can say, well, I don't view her as my property. I just love her or whatever. Yes, exactly. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so I say this a lot. So yeah, talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words. But the not the nuance, but the issue with the action is that until we invent machines that can read minds and go back in time to see where the mind was at the time, right? And that's to the point about motive, right? So, and also because they have a particular motive does not mean that the motive can change from good to bad and bad to good. You just never know. Humans, for the most part, are wild cards. Except kind of like for me, who was a master. But you guys will understand that once you listen to Conversation with God, you know what I'm talking about. And as obviously as I blow up here and become famous, and I hope I can walk down the street and not be fucking bugged. But a great teacher has to be, that's part of again, there's trade-offs. People, especially ladies, I'm telling you, there's trade-offs. I'm looking to the camera here. There are trade-offs to everything, okay? So the trade-off to being, I guess, well, whatever. I won't get into it. All right. So yeah, property. Okay. So motives. So one man can be coming from an aspect of like, shit, I've put so much money into this thing, or whatever, right? Property, right? And it's being threatened to taken away from me, right? I have utility. I have sex with her. And, I had kids with her, so she's also a mother. Brings that if you're in that context. Again, the other perspective, the man can be coming from like, yeah, she's just like, he's not thinking about the money, whatever, right? And in those times, probably money wouldn't be the thing. It is, like, as God says, actually, man's natural instinct is to be unconditionally loving. I think he said number 2 was, I forgot, I express that freely or whatever. They want to express that freely. So anyways, okay, so in time you guys are going to see, I guess I'm kind of giving you some backdrop here, but in time you guys are going to see, again, well, this is kind of like showing you, again, from thought to thought to thought to where, again, you want to get to the root of thoughts, and that simple, and also this simplifies your life to eventually get to a point like, okay, how do I make a decision, basically? But now this one, okay, here. So in my mind, what's been coming up quite a bit is like, okay, sometimes it's just best to start from a clean sheet of paper, okay? At least you have all the hindsight 2020, right, of the past of the human mistakes. And that's what I've been doing when designing a city. I've been taking all the mistakes, right, seeing the new innovations and putting it all together. So for relationships, right, because see, you need, okay, so the reason I can't really go on with the conversation, because if you don't have, obviously, my perspective, and more importantly, just this kind of the context, you're going to take things out of context, okay, more easily. But all right, so it's a combination of looking back into the past, right, and also some hypothetical scenarios. Because, see, this hypothetical scenario is we'll see here, okay? Start on an island or start from scratch, okay? So the topic here is relationships 101, or it could also be like how to structure relationships, right? Relationship crash course, whatever. Again, you need some prerequisite, I guess, studying or information, okay? Some preliminary information here, all right? So if you got on a plane, end up with a plane crash, and then landed on an island, what would be, sorry, I'm kind of high and tired. What would be your priorities, right? I would assume that it's to secure water, food, shelter, energy, and medicine, right? Let's see. Yo, what's that? Damn. Secure water, food, shelter, energy, right? Now introduce another person. How would you divide the labor of survival, right? To keep things simple, let's say it's a woman, and assume you're and assume you are an 18-year-old man. I don't know why it's double D, but I'll fix it later. Now the next thing we have to factor in is her age. And so you hear me talk about factors again. So this is what we're doing here in these mind mapping type of things, whatever, right? We're throwing out the factors and seeing how they funnel, like, you know, through a flow chart to certain outcomes or decisions or whatever, right? Actions and results, or potential results. Potential results. Yeah. Now the next thing we have to factor in is her age. Again, keeping things simple and legal. A woman is 18. Now again, where the analogy falls off here is that with the reality of history is that we somehow spontaneously emerged as a group. Okay, there wasn't this Adam and Eve incest bullshit. Okay, here's the thing: if you actually pay attention during the story of the Adam and Eve and when they have kids and shit like that, their kids magically ran into some other beings that already existed or whatever somehow. But yet Adam and Eve were the first two human and, you know, whatever, the first two human beings. And so basically we're all incest, inbred. It's like, no, actually it looks like more highly advanced beings, just like how we take ants and put them in ant farms and all kinds of animals and zoos and shit like that, right? And maybe now fucking with their genetics. Well, they did that with us. Okay, so according to one theory is that we were from other planets, so in a sense we are a different race. But really, if now you start looking at, instead of you're a global citizen, you're first of all, a multi-dimensional being, period, because you're God. But all right, you start looking at the universe scale, right? You're going to see that there's humanoids. That's why some of these Palladians or whatever, they look humans, because yes, humans in a sense is a let's say a species in the existence of the universe, and these humans are also in other places. Just like, let's say you can find different species in different parts of the world, right? For whatever reasons, right? Again, everything changes. There's nothing static. Okay, so there's humanoids, the Greys, they got the reptilians, right? And you could say, well, I'm not gonna get that deep, but I'm just saying, yeah, higher advanced beings played with our genetics, took us from different parts and put us on this earth, in a sense, to see what we would do. In a sense, kind of, that also completes God's free will. Okay, so I forgot what I was saying about that. Oh yeah, so we spontaneously emerged, right? That's why the missing link of the monkey and stuff like that. I can go on about all these different perspectives of how we got arrived, but it is observable that it just wasn't one man and one woman. No, we just emerged in a group. Okay, so the reality is that we started as a group, right? And this is where it gets tricky. This is where it gets all kind of tricky. But the point is, the group, right? Especially the women within the group, right? Because we know there's basically only two genders for the most part. Again, bell curve people. There's going to be weird extremes on both ends. So however you define it, okay? So the hermaphrodites and the let's say mentally confused, maybe because it is the inside body, the organs, the way they are is imbalanced, but yet is in a sense male passing or whatever. Anyways, but again, that's life, right? So it's kind of it's what I see is that God likes to produce all kinds of novelty. You know, again, just look at the spectrum of the light, right? And there's all kinds of micro shades in between, you know. So, okay, so we emerged basically out of groups, and again, women were obviously protected, right? And here's the funny part about feminism in the whole. That's why I'm like, when were you guys oppressed? Really, truly oppressed? If anything, it was good intentions of overprotection. Yes. Did it lend to potential abuse? Yes. But for the most part, like this is where Dr. Jordan Peterson makes a lot of sense, obviously, and just again, it's just common sense. Life sucked for fucking everybody, right? And men are still dying earlier. If anything, I think men have to grow. Actually, men, when you grow, this is part of my whole channel too, okay? And this thing, when you grow, women are forced to grow. They were designed to follow. It doesn't mean that they're better or worse. Again, the books, the conversation, gets that out of your vocabulary. Now, of course, when you break it down within context, because as God said, we live in a contextual world, meaning we live in a relative world, depending on the context, right? If you define the parameters, then yes, there might be some gender that is better or worse at a particular thing. But intrinsically and as a whole, we're just yin and yang. The star tetrahedron, inverse relationships, right? This is kind of a triangle, or it's supposed to be what? Yeah. So the pyramid, yeah. Okay? Triangle, okay? Yin and yang. Or star tetrahedron, sorry, the triangle, okay? They fuse. That's why it's actually going like this, but that's just saying when it's in balance, when they're both balanced, right? The star tetrahedron, right? You get the Star of David, which is really just sacred geometry and blah, blah. Again, I can go on, but at the end of the day, I like to make spirituality functional, okay? Just like functional medicine, functional spirituality, okay? So again, we merged as a group and we protected women. And again, we can come from all kinds of aspects. Someone can say, well, they protect them because, that's their sex dolls, they're used for. It's like, again, where was this oppressed? How are you oppressed? The only time women were oppressed probably is when a new army took over. Okay, that's when all the pillaging and the raping. Okay, that's basically in a sense where you were. Some of those girls from the former tribes were maybe put in like a sex dungeon or whatever. But again, I'm gonna say that was far and few for the most part. And sometimes when they fuse, sometimes again they just let women, again because of women, it's just like okay men just like they didn't care that they were the other tribe. They found them attractive because we find everything attractive for the most part. And they just blended in. I mean, look at Genghis Khan, I think. Look at maybe not Genghis Khan. I think Alexander the Great, right? Type of thing or whatever. So, anywho, so women, you were never really oppressed. You were overprotected. Yes, yes. Can you overdo overprotection? Yes, right. So, and yes, some men got addicted to the power or whatever, right? Or having over you or whatever. But also look at the results now that we've kind of given you ladies free reign. It's like what again? It's about observation. We're not judging here. We're saying based on the observations of how most women basically conduct their lives, right? Like it kind of makes sense, right? Again, if God said, right? I'm talking about this conversation with God, type of God said, and you'll see that. Doesn't take any sides. God does not have any. Oh God, just no pun intended. Forgot what I was gonna say with that. Cause I got high. Power. Oh yeah. Men tend to direct the energy. Women tend to flow with the energy, right? So it seems like. Just like children, sometimes we have to kind of control them for their own good. Now, I do propose that, and this is, again, it's all relative, right? This is all relative because of the factor right now, the fact that most men, again, I don't think it's an intentional thing. Again, it's unconscious, and then hopefully in time it will become conscious. That's what I'm here for, to make it conscious, all right? Dads haven't taught women the skills that have been traditionally been of a man, right? Therefore, how can you expect women to act like adults when you kind of become more of adultish if you get these skills, responsibilities, okay? Now, here's the funny part. Those doors have been open to women, and now that they're open, they're still not selecting them, right? Of course, we have the feminists that they only fight for the good jobs. All the other jobs, all the icky jobs, all the dangerous jobs, like no, we don't care about representation there. Yeah, we don't give. Again, it's not that you're women, ladies, that men don't like you. It's your pure hypocrisy. Again, everything I say women do, men do it too, right? In this case, you're kind of neck and neck if you think about it. Again, at the end of the day, I boil it down to men because it is the few men that are in the positions of power and abusing that. And then the other side is the weak ass men. Again, you have two extremes. What we need is balance, okay? Right? We need is balance, and I hope that's my goal here. So, yeah, you have the weak men who basically capitulate, right? They acquiesce to their wives to not lose their sex doll. These guys are truly addicted to sex. These guys are addicted to power, and they just get sex because, women are attracted to power, right? Again, energy. Women were designed to flow. So yes, they are going to be more sheep-like naturally. But again, just like back in the day when we were in these small tribes, it didn't benefit you to go against the grain, okay? Especially not women. Again, that's why I tell women, where do you see these women going off? Where do you hear the stories of a woman going off into the middle of the forest and just foraging and just doing everything by themselves or with an animal, with a dog or whatever, right? Like, no, these guys go into the wilderness and basically, seclude themselves for years on end or whatever, and maybe just have little interaction just to get their food. But they're in a small town, so they're already small people to interact with, And some of them obviously built almost everything from fucking just rawness, right? So where are these women doing that? Again, and it also makes sense because again, they can't manipulate nature as much. Now, of course, here's the thing, right? Now, fast forward, we have machines that because even there's even certain things that even the most powerful of men, right, strongest of men cannot lift. Therefore, we use our brains now. We have machines, so women can learn that too, of course. But again, when you men allow an environment that say, hey, no, don't do that. I'll do that job in exchange for sexual access. Or for you to do this other stuff. But I mean, again, we're just looking at things always practically and pragmatically, okay? So yes, I also don't blame women to not, or again, it doesn't make sense for women to be, especially in the army, right? That's kind of like war. Let's just call it war, okay? So it also doesn't make sense for these women to be in jobs where they can potentially disfigure their bodies, and therefore, because we're visual creatures, they will turn us off. So again, women, you have to put yourself in men's shoes, and men, you have to put in women's shoes, and that's what I'm doing here. That's what I'm trying to bring with these things. I'm trying to bring the balance, right? That we're not equal, well, in certain context. Okay, that's all about context, right? We're equal in that we share the same sun, yes. Are we equal that the rain all falls on it? Yes, right? Are we equal that basically we all bleed red? Yes. But there are other stuff that we're not equal. We are different, and there are equivalents. There are equivalents to what one does to the other, okay? So, just like men care about women's beauty and women care about a man's ability to resource, right? I don't want to be seen like just a piece of meat, and a man's like, well, I just want to be seen like a fucking piece of wallet, like some just utility that you just use, right? So, but again, you can't avoid that right now, especially how resources are being hoarded again by these top men, right? And that's why I want to show another video with, I think it was Vox or whatever. They did a little snippet on the history of monogamy, right? And they recalled a certain Jesuit journal that was taken, whatever, or observation was taken about these. I forgot what tribe it was, but yeah, they didn't have the concept of marriage or monogamy because they shared the resources. Okay, yes, it's a lot easier when it's a smaller group, but I think now I've solved that problem with technology. Now we can almost have that same thing. And yes, it's going to be a paradigm shift where like, okay, well, yeah, which we're kind of figuring now, but it's false because that's the thing I observe with women, okay? So while they're young, they got energy, right? They're going to want to stick us in. They want to be as independent as they can, right? That's what the soul wants anyways at the end of the day. And that's why even then, when they cross into that path, we're like, oh fuck, okay, I'm older, I'm lazier. Fuck, okay, I'll now partner with a man because it'll make my life easier. And yes, for most men too, right? Because most men are broke. Again, when you get to my tier and beyond, it just doesn't make any sense because you can outsource all that, and then you don't have to make a promise to some person that you're building with because both of you together would have a much more stressful life if you're apart. Okay, so That's why people are, whatever. So yeah, so women, right, later in time, they'll give that up, but sometimes they won't. They'll cheat behind the man's back. Okay, so they're double dipping. They're like, okay, beta provider, but I'm fucking the alpha, whatever, still, or whatever. I'm just fucking because again, we're not supposed to be monogamous. Jesus fucking Christ, And that goes back to the whole property thing, right? So for me personally, okay, yeah, if a woman makes me pay in any shape or form, right? If she's not a true independent woman, right, that says, hey, we're never gonna live with each other. I need my own space. I have my own money, right? Wherever we go out to eat, I pay for my half. I always pay for my test, right? Because I'm fucking other people, right? And I make them pay for their STD test, right? And we fucking without having those results, okay? So again, high integrity people. That's all I want to deal with, especially within the context of sex. Again, right? So yeah, she's not possessive. I'm not possessive, right? We don't need each other, but we want to have fun with each other, right? And we do it safely. Why? Because we have self-respect and respect for another. Okay? So yeah, that's probably the type of woman I would probably die for because, she's not saying, hey, my sex is greater than yours, therefore you have to pay for me, right? What else? So again, it goes back to like women don't want to be treated like they don't want to be seen or treated like property, but yet they want to be protected like property, and how to explain this? Because yes, see, I tell men they're foolish. Okay, they're foolish, right? It's your perception that usually gives you pain. Okay, change your perception and you can heal the pain in your mind. Okay, because there's a lot of stuff that we just give ourselves pain when it doesn't even matter. Because when you think about it, it's like, okay, wait, am I starving? Am I homeless? Are there not other people in the world? Like, why am I, imagine I'm a self-inflicting pain mentally when everything outside of myself is perfectly fine. I'm not being maimed or killed or threatened. Nothing, right? So anyway, so the foolishness of people, or men in this context, is that, yeah, basically, see, the way I see it, again, it's just like any investment, when I use that word loosely when it comes to women, don't be willing to invest more than you're willing to lose, okay? So for me, it's just a loss. I'm just writing it off, okay? So it's a loss. There's no gain from it, okay? Except for maybe an experience, I guess, right? So basically, go from viewing whatever payment you're making on women, and of course they force you, right? The majority of them. I know you're out there, the ones that don't, and again, I'm doing my videos to find you. I gotta systemize. I gotta play the numbers to finally find the women. Now the thing is though, is that in time, again, that can switch, right? She can be that from that perspective for 5 years, right? Because maybe she's in her 20s, right? Then she gets in her mid 30s. She's like, you know what? Yeah, my truth has changed. I need to find a man that's gonna take all of the financial load off of me, or at least 70%. 60. At least not 50-50, right? Or maybe they do want 50-50, like for real, like together. Again, so be it. Okay, fine. I'll be like, hey, cool, all right. Hey, no sweat off me, man. It's not like you're getting more beautiful, anyways. Oh wait, shit. Did I say that? All right, so. What's it called? Fuck, what was I saying? Yeah, oh yeah. So you're not doing an investment. You are paying for a service to experience something. Okay? So women are service-based business. It's like hiring a plumber, and because you pay them to fix that, right? Basically, in this case, you pay the woman is fixing your sexual need for sexual reunion, and of course maybe you are one of those men that want her to do all this stuff, so, and that's sometimes it's kind of like, it's just, yeah, the men can probably afford it. There's certain men that can afford it, but they just want it because they just saw that when they were young. They saw that in the movies, right? But what happens, again, is what I'm going to map out eventually. What happens is that, okay, once he's checked that off his list, he's like, shit, like, I am bored of my wife. I love my wife, but I am bored of my wife. And there starts the countdown of, and then, you know, depending on the man he is and the finance, all that stuff, will determine if he can cheat or has options. So, so though a man may claim that he may want that, eventually his biology, his soul is gonna want other sexual sustenance, okay? Because it is energy and it is a food for the soul. That's why everybody loves it, right? But they can't admit it because we have distorted the naturalness of coitus, sex, whatever, intercourse, the dirty. Again, that's right there. That if you think that way, you have toxic sexual views, all right? And this God has come to hopefully clear that out. So, but you're gonna have to address the issue that because of that truth, what I just said, that we can't be long-term monogamy is not sustainable. People who are making the marriage promise are putting themselves in such an potential mental institution, just a pickle of a problem. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so see them as a service base, right? So if they force you to pay, then it's not love, man. Again, ladies, cut the coochie off. See if you get the credit card. Men, lose your job, right, for extended period of time, right? Every woman has a different breaking point, right? But they will leave you. If you cannot eventually meet payroll given their timeline, like I just said in my other video, my massage lady, I asked her, and she said it with a quickness. She said a month and a half. She said that's how long he would have to basically get his job again. Now, what I don't think she factored in, again, I look at everything very slowly and logistically. Okay, so he got a job, but are we assuming that this job is equal to the one that was paying him equal to his last job? If not, there's going to be problems down the road because again, women want at least 50-50, all right, at least 50-50, and that is definitely I think commendable for sure. So again, ladies, in the past it was understandable for you charging for your services, right, including the sex or whatever. Now you have your money. Some of you actually have decent, it's not most of you, but some of you are somewhat decently financially. But again, for now, we don't know what the future stores for you ladies, okay? Because your addiction to consumption. But for those, whatever, that will all throughout, maybe they inherited daddy's money, or, you know, mom inherited daddy's money, and therefore mom passed, now it's on to her, right? So, whatever, meaning she definitely does not even need a man in the financial aspect, okay, in the financial aspect. What was I saying with that? Fuck. The point I was trying to say here basically is, yes, it's not love, it is business, which is okay. The problem is that you guys are saying I love you very much, but it's more like I trade you very much. All right, let's play that video right now because I think it's a very short clip. Yeah, here we go, right here. 4 minutes, okay? So you guys can have context now.
I can hear that. Yet over and over in my relationships, I have given up when the going gets tough. The result is I've had a string of relationships where I thought as a kid that I'd have only one. I don't seem to know what it's like to hold on to a relationship. You think I'll ever learn? What do I have to do to make it happen?
You make it sound as if holding on to a relationship means it's been a success. Try not to confuse longevity with a job well done. Remember, your job on the planet is not to see how long you can stay in a relationship. It's to decide and experience who you really are. This is not an argument for short-term relationships, and neither is there a requirement for long-term ones. Still, while there is no such requirement, this much should be said. Long-term relationships do hold remarkable opportunities for mutual growth, mutual expression, and mutual fulfillment. That has its own reward.
I know. I mean, I've always suspected that. So how do I get there?
First, make sure you get into a relationship for the right reasons. I'm using the word right here as a relative term. I mean right relative to the larger purpose you hold in your life. As I've indicated before, most people still enter relationships for the wrong reasons. To end loneliness, fill a gap, bring themselves love or someone to love. And those are some of the better reasons. Others do so to salve their ego and their depressions, improve their sex life, recover from a previous relationship, or, believe it or not, to relieve boredom. None of these reasons will work. And unless something dramatic changes along the way, neither will the relationship.
I didn't enter into my relationships for any of those reasons.
I would challenge that. I don't think you know why you entered your relationships. I don't think you thought of it in this way. I don't think you entered your relationships purposefully. I think you entered your relationships because you fell in love.
That's exactly right.
And I don't think you stopped to look at why you fell in love. What was it to which you were responding? What your set of needs was being fulfilled. For most people, love is a response to need fulfillment.
For most people, love is a response to need fulfillment. I don't know why I speeded up when this is actually very, very crucial. But, oops. Let's do that again. Let's go back to normal.
Fulfilled. Why you fell in love. What was it to which you were responding? What need or set of needs was being fulfilled? For most people, love is a response to need fulfillment. Everyone has needs. You need this, another needs that. You both see in each other a chance for need fulfillment. So you agree tacitly to a trade. I'll trade you what I've got if you give me what you've got. It's a transaction. But you don't tell the truth about it. You don't say, I trade you very much. You say, I love you very much. And then the disappointment begins.
You've made this point before.
Yes, and you've done this thing before, not once, but several times.
You know, sometimes this dialogue seems to be going around in circles, making the same points over and over again.
Sort of like life.
Ooh, touché.
The process here is that you're asking the questions and I'm merely answering them. You ask the same question 3 different ways. I'm obliged to continue answering it.
Maybe I keep hoping you'll come up with a different answer. You take a lot of the romance out of it when I ask you about relationships. What's wrong with falling head over heels in love without having to think about it?
Nothing. Fall in love with as many people as you like that way. But if you're going to form a lifelong relationship with them, you may want to add a little thought. On the other hand, if you enjoy going through relationships like water, or worse yet, staying in one because you think you have to, then living a life of quiet desperation. If you enjoy repeating these patterns from your past, keep right on doing what you've been doing.
Okay, I get it. Well, you're relentless, aren't you?
That's the problem with truth. The truth is relentless. It won't leave you alone. It keeps creeping up on you from every side, showing you what's really so. That can be annoying.
All right, so funny enough, though, that part only had the male voice.
Helen Hansel was able.
But it switches from male to female because God is neither. Well, God is both, actually, but through humans, obviously. But it's neither because it's. In the alternate reality, there's only one particle and it's genderless. And it's just energy, and it has consciousness. All right. So, anywho, so yeah, it's transactional, and God's not using that word as a pejorative. He's just saying, yeah, you guys are trading. The problem is you're not being honest about it. So therefore, right? Therefore, in my channel,
I can hear that.
In my channel, right? I will be presenting the solution, right? And it's all gonna because shit. Oh yeah, this one's not in my. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. It's not this. Hold on. Shit. Actually, it's duplicate. But basically, I'm gonna be showing you the mind map here. Sorry, flow chart. Oh yeah. Dating versus sex work. SW. Let's see what I got here. And of course, I got the other spreadsheet. But yeah, I guess we can go over here real quick. Can we just please stop lying to ourselves? All men want and need sex, whether he wants a one-night stand, a relationship, or marriage. All right. And what is men's main men's main or overall purpose in asking a girl out? Asking a girl out is the publicly acceptable way of saying I would like to have sex with you. Again, in my other videos, I read you that article about when the concept of dating and its practice was starting to be practiced, right? It was associated with prostitution because it is, and it's okay. So it's kind of a chicken and egg question, because it's like, wait, women can say, well, it's not my fault that he wants sex, right? But ladies, what is within your control is you basically charging, because ladies, if you ever found yourself saying this, if he didn't pay for the first day, I ain't going out with him ever again. Okay, so what if he did, right? Again, this is what I'm saying. You'll see all the different factors, right? So what if he did? Okay, the next two possible possibilities, either you like him or you don't, and you're using him as a booty call, right? So you're going to string him along with the potential of a coitus, right, aka sex, or you do like him and you just made him go through the socially acceptable 3 or 4 rule date, and then you open your legs, right? So that way also it wasn't like necessarily cheap and you weren't easy, and it's like here's the mind-blowing thing, at least for me. It's like, but you just made yourself a de facto escort, because if I don't pay, right? Prostitution is the exchange of sex, or the explicitly asking for sex in exchange for money or things of monetary value. That dinner has monetary value because it took money, right, in its debit card or cash or whatever form to obviously consume that, and obviously without, if you leave, they're gonna call the cops, and if they catch you, whatever, right? Yeah, you can bounce, but most people don't bounce. But whatever. The point is, cash for the dinner, flowers, necklace, ring, all stuff. Again, we're purchasing your services, okay? And I wish men, again, would see it as you're purchasing services, so don't even think of like trying to possess her. And again, reality, why would you want to? But again, people get attached to things, and I understand I'm a master at a certain level of evolution, and I get it. And again, at the end of the day, what they eat won't make me shit, so they're going to suffer the consequences of basically lying, and some of them don't know they're lying, and some of them know they're lying. So, but either way, you're lying. Whether you're conscious or not, you're lying, and you're going to reap the consequences of a lie, which is usually not positive, okay? In fact, anything, well, I guess there would be a scenario where a lie might be, I'm talking about the lie within the context of relationships, all right? Yes, I would say at least 80% of people are lying to them, are unconsciously lying, because at the moment they really bought the whole Disney fantasy and stuff like that, but life is going to show them, oh shit, it doesn't, in the long run, it's not sustainable, right? And that's then they can go into the other phase where they're like, okay, now they're consciously lying, now that it's done, they see it's not really bearing fruit, and now they're just going to lie because for whatever reason, right? And then there are those that are consciously lying because they know that's all the best they can get. Again, both sides, men and women, right? That's the best they can get, and they better settle down, right? Because prior to, it was very hard, right, to acquire the main crucial things. Obviously, that's for women, it's resources, and for men, it's a consistent source of sex and companionship, as God said, because a lot of men are weak, right? That's why most men at the bottom. I wish maybe I'll put that diagram on there, but. Anywho, what was I saying? Okay, so the exchange. Okay, the exchange of sex for resources is the foundation of 99% of relationships between men and women, and even some same-sex relationships. Right? Dating / marriage versus escorts versus prostitution. Again, I'm trying to show you the similarities, and where they're all similar is in this euphemism or whatever, or axiom: no money, no fucking honey, okay? This is where they all share the similarities. If you don't pay for the day, you're not getting to the day. Well, what's the ultimate goal for the man? Again, ultimately, yes, it's sex, whether it's one night stand. Again, so what I want to show is that sometimes why a one night stand may happen or he ghosts you, your box probably stank, and or maybe it was loose, okay, or your personality just sucked. Period. So the sex was good, but the personality was just off-putting, okay. So see, so once I mapped all this out, you'll be able to funnel your, I would call you dumbass for now, right? I'm not gonna get to that. Okay, you'll funnel your ass through all. It's like, oh yeah, I've been through that. Okay, I did that, did that. I do not know what happened. I think my computer overheated, but I cooled it down. I don't know. All right. What was it saying? Oh yeah. So for the guy that goes like, oh yeah, I took out a girl on a date and she just basically, yeah, she just, what's it called? I took her out on multiple dates, or one date or multiple dates, and she just ghosted me, right? Or said that, yeah, we're not compatible or whatever, which most women don't. What's it called? Yeah, so for him, I'll be like, okay, now you need to try this approach where you're like, yo, one date and be like, yo, if you want more of these dates, you gotta give it the cheeks, you know? What am I, a prostitute? Well, yes, 99% of you basically, yes, and I don't use that word as a pejorative or a narrative. It's just a descriptive word describing what is taking place. That men want to have sex with you, whether one time, multiple times for a shorter or long-term relationship, whatever that fucking means, okay, or marriage, which means forever. Okay, he just wants your box forever and no other box ever again. Yeah, whatever. Like, people are funny. What was I saying? Yeah, forever. Yeah. Oh yeah. So they all want sex. Okay. Now certain guys, yeah, some guys want her to be a cook and a clean, right, and have a kid. Some guys just, again, they just want to whatever waste time as a place filler. But they still want her to cook and clean, right? They're not looking for the marriage ultimately or the kid, right? Some guys are like, you know what, I just want sex, right? Friends with benefits or whatever. But yes, that's the main thing, and the reason why men can be friends for the most part is not only because of interest, which I'll get into all that, or don't have the same interest, but the biology activates, and it's like torturing a lion it's hungry as fuck, right? Because again, most guys are hungry in a sense, they don't have much access, just in general, and you're just like, yeah, or basically. It's self-torture at the end of the day, because the guys that put themselves in the friend zone and remain just for the potential, like, oh shit, there's a weak spot, she just broke it with her man, I might be able to make a move, she might be emotional, blah blah blah. And there are certain women that actually do like their friends, but what's it called? I'm not gonna get into that whole complexity, but yeah. So anyway, so then the difference is basically this is if she pays for her half and has sex with you, she did not engage. Oh yeah, these are side notes. All right. So the difference in dating, right, is that you have exclusivity, right? You're exclusive in theory, in some cases, as I'm saying, right? And I say some cases because it's, yes, that's why I call it monogamish sometimes, because she may be exclusive to you for a little bit, and then she's like, shit, I do like the benefits from this dude, but I also want to, fuck this guy, whether he's a Chad, whatever, it doesn't matter, okay? At the end of it, doesn't matter. She wants to fuck another dude, okay? And the dude too, as I tell these women, look, if you catch your guy jacking off the porn, that's it. He's bored of you, okay? He's just staying with you because for most men it's hard to get girls, and they don't have the money to get them like that, and just, yeah, that's basically it, right? And also just like, okay, I don't want to hurt her hard or whatever, but then you're just gonna elongate, like a lot of these other females do too, like, I didn't want to hurt his heart or whatever. But okay, so you drag it on, which is gonna make it even more painful, because the more he invests in you, the more pain it is. That's basically it, okay, ladies, and some men who are fucking, just as, I guess, evil as, I guess, these women that do that, okay. May provide other services, i.e. cooking, cleaning, and babies, right? So that's the difference, right? That's why I can understand sometimes women say, I am not a prostitute, because in their mind, prostitute is just sex. She's like, well, I'm cooking and cleaning. I'm being a housewife. But as I tell women, okay, if next time a man proposes you for marriage, which is like the ultimate sign of love, okay, the next time a man proposes to you for marriage, tell him you're gonna do everything except give him consistent sex, right? You're gonna have sex with him to have kids, right? But once she's pregnant and that's it, you're no longer any consistent sex, you know. And I ask him, you think he's gonna continue with his proposal? You think? If the answer is no, then you find out that that's basically 90%, right? Because he can say, oh, the other stuff does matter too. It's not just sex. It's like, okay, sure, let it be fucking, I don't know, 10, 20%, right? Let's just say 20%. Still, you take out that the sex, which is 80%, that 20% might as well be zero, because you're like, fuck it, I don't care about that 20%, because that's what you're literally saying, not through words, through actions, people. Fucking actions. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, so difference here with the prostitute. Okay, non-exclusive, multiple women at a time, right? Only sex, maybe companionship, and that's where the escort can be, you know, because again, the escort in theory provides companionship. Again, there are men that do want to, I don't know, just listen to you because they just like the eye candy, and it's building up the momentum, right? And I guess it's kind of like delayed gratification. Me personally, again, I don't know, man. I think it's the chemicals talking to men's minds, right? Whatever, that's the stage of evolution. They need that extra stuff, but in the end, it ends up hurting them, right? Because they're torturing themselves, right? You spending the extra time, you're gonna get emotionally attached or whatever, and then you have what's it called, pretty woman type scenario or something like that, whatever. So yeah, because you can see, I'm mapping things out. It's gonna be as clear as day, right? We're gonna funnel stuff. I'm gonna ask those crucial questions. That again, it's just gonna funnel and not trap per se, but it's just like, well, it's trapping them into their own bullshit, right? So again, women like to move the goalposts. Okay, so we're gonna be okay. This question, okay, all right, you answer this, okay, now here, okay, now next question, if it leads down that right, and we're gonna follow her train of thought to conclude, right? That's what basically Kevin Samuels would do with, like, okay, how much of the portion of the house of the bills do you want to be responsible for? How many kids do you want, right? So again, like Conversation with God talks about, we can't, until you tell us what your goal is, right? Let's say I want to, you know, you're in like California, right? You're in LA, you want to go to Seattle, right? If you say, hey, I want to go to Seattle, but you're heading the fucking wrong way, right? Someone who's telling you, hey, you're heading the wrong way is not judging you. They're just saying relative to what you say your goal is to get to Seattle, how you're thinking, speaking, and doing is leading you the wrong way. That's not a judgment. A judgment's like, you are an immoral being and God's going to punish you, right? So there's the deity, or just whatever, secular, modern day, whatever norms are acceptable, right? They're judging you in that aspect, right? And then what I say with the ultimate true judgment is when they take an adverse action that either they kill you, well, rape, I don't know why they would rape you to disagree with you, but, right? Or molest you. But basically, yeah, physical assault, right? Death, physical assault, property, financial damage because it costs you money to repair it, right? And or false allegations that make you lose your job or go to jail, which means you have no job anymore. Now you're just in jail, right? You're a prisoner, right? That's true judgment. But other than that, it's just they're just disagreeing with you at the end of the day, right? So they don't say you're a sinner, at the end of the day, or they say what you're doing is wrong, right? So that's what, again, yeah. For myself, I rarely find myself saying wrong or right at all. But again, it depends on the context. If they already told me they're right, someone says I want to lose weight or whatever, and they're still eating cheeseburger. I'm like, dude, that you're not gonna get slim by still continue eating cheeseburgers, bro. Like, I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you that relative to your goal of being fit and getting fit, eating cheeseburgers ain't gonna get you there. Okay, so All right, I think I've said enough, but yeah, again, so I want to show why, right? What's it called? The whole property thing is a conundrum here, because it's like, okay, and for me, again, me personally, yes, if you make me pay, it's business. Okay, so it's business. I am not protecting you. Okay, I am not protecting you. So you either, as they say, submit, which really is just cooperate, ladies. It's another word for cooperate. So that's why I want to show, right? Show examples of like, right, the men and women, men versus women, the island bears grylls, whatever, and the survival men versus women, right? You will see that we are in those contexts, right? You ladies wouldn't be acting that way because you would suffer very fast and indirectly. Okay, so let me see what they. Fuck, I had a brain fart. Tired here. Should go to bed. Yeah, respect. Yeah, if you want me, yeah, basically, if you want me to die for you, don't disrespect me. Again, that's a big loaded statement, right? So again, I'm making the ultimate list of what I feel. Again, the template is just based on me, and you could add onto it because I think I'm already hitting all the core points. But if sometimes I realize something's like, oh, you know what? I never knew that would make me feel kind of disrespected, but I would add it, and so I wouldn't give her a warning, be like, okay, I didn't know that, but now that it's on the list, now you know, and this type of disrespect acquires you, X amount of strikes, and I guess you can also say, well, after, I don't know, a year of good behavior, that strike goes away and you rebuild yourself. But then that kind of gives leniency to do it again, and I don't think that's how it should work, Or maybe let's say low tier strikes, you can rack up, let's say 7 of those, right? So you got the immediate strike, right, or automatic, 3 strikes, right, type of thing. Like obviously it's cheating for sure. I would say even emotionally, because if you open up that can of worms, ladies, it's only a matter of time. So just don't open it. Therefore, you won't be tempted. So just, okay? But again, that's why also people structure your relationship, even though I say just a year, right? Because it's really, at the end of the day, it's arbitrary. But I would say every year review it, just like a license kind of thing, type of thing, right? Every year. Some people could say every 2 years, whatever. But it doesn't matter, because if you say something, okay, we're gonna be together for a year. Let's try it out for a year, right? You might only get 3 months in before you figure out that you guys ain't gonna be compatible. So again, it's kind of arbitrary, but I'm just saying at least just throw it out there. Okay, hey, 6 months. Actually, I would say 6 months because of the neurochemistry, right? I would say more about like 6 months. You should, whatever, right? And it's always, again, even when you say, okay, we're gonna, I vetted you for 3 years and we got married, right? Okay, again, some people divorce after 7, some people divorce after 3. It all varies, but what we're looking at is the ultimate result. The ultimate result ultimately was divorce, right? What was the common factor? Again, it's usually money. So that's why you ladies, it's not about the money. I don't care about the money. Again, you may go into it with that motive and that intention, right? And you were being honest, but then life happens and you change. You're like, you know what? I actually don't want to struggle anymore. I want to find the nicer things in life. So sorry, Tommy, I gotta let you go. I gotta go find a richer dude, right? And Tommy, in my opinion, should be like, all right, cool, peace, later, woo, all right, I'm clean, and hopefully she didn't clean you out too hard, because again, look at the show Till Death Do Us Part. So anyways, all right, so we're done here. So yeah, ladies, you're a hypocrite because you don't want to be treated like property, but again, you're not going to be protected as well. Again, there's a lot of dumb men, so you're lucky, right? Because again, if men thought like me, well, first of all, the world would be better, right, for everybody. But I'm saying within the context of like right now, like if men thought like me, be like, yeah, no, you're making me pay. This ain't no 50-50. You got a job. You're a human being. You're smarter than me, right? You're the boss. As I hear all these husbands say, oh, I got called the boss. Okay, so if she's a boss, then let her be a boss. Okay, let her pay for everything, right? Let her be on her own. Okay? So again, call these women on their bluff, bro. At the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these, oh God, all right, so yeah, if she makes you pay, it's business. No protection. no protection. Okay? So if she's an able-bodied human being, has her own job, right? Even if she has a shitty job, that's not your fault. You didn't tell her to go work for a job that only pays like 40 grand and inflation's crazy and she has a shopping addiction and she doesn't know how to save money, let alone research to invest money. You are? The fuck? Yeah, that's not your thing, right? So again, the best you can do is, I would say, ratio. If she wants to ratio it, that's different, right? So let's say you make 70 grand, she makes 40 grand, but you're living together, then ratio it. But that's not too far of a stretch from each other. I think I don't know what number it would be before I would say, okay, you have to ratio it. I would say, actually no, I would say, because see, I know I'm gonna be a multimillionaire, actually a decabillionaire, so I would say that so for example, right? If I had a girlfriend, which I doubt I'm gonna have, okay, I'm gonna have my adult film company, okay, so, but you never know, okay? So if I have a girlfriend, right, and let's say, well, actually no, I know I don't want to live together, but let's say hypothetically I want to live with the girlfriend, right? So I have to give you an example, context, you can wrap your head around about this ratioing, right? Let's say we were together before I made my millions, right? And we shared, let's say, a $2,000 apartment, right? We split it 50-50, right? 1,000 her, 1,000 me, right? Then I blow up and I'm like, you know what? I want to move into a penthouse that's 15 grand a month. Shout out to what was the Confluence in Denver, Colorado. I found somewhere better, but I was thinking of being in the penthouse and that was like 15 grand. I wonder what it is now, but I'm sure it's more. But anywho, so 15 grand a month, right? And her salary is the same. I wouldn't be like, yo, you got to pay half of this, or you're whatever, you're a prostitute or whatever, or you're just, this is not 50-50, right? Obviously, it would be asinine to think that she can afford that, right? And why would I dumb myself down, continue living in a not a lower apartment, just apartment that I'm in a sense mentally outgrew or whatever, right? Want to experience the ambiance, whatever, my money, right? Why would I prevent myself, right? Because she can't afford it. So I'll be like, okay, fine, right? And I still want to live with her. I'll be like, okay, fine. The apartment is this. I make this. This is our ratio difference. Okay, so you're gonna pay. At that point, if I was a millionaire, it'd just be like $1. Okay, but again, it's about the principle, right? Yeah, $1 doesn't mean shit to me at that point, but it's about the principle, right? So yeah, let's say it would probably break down to $1, right? Her portion would be $1, right? And cool, she give me $1, and I would have so much respect for her, right? More, I would say, for a woman that contributes than a woman that just wants to be a trophy wife. That's out the window. Again, remember, I'm not saying I'm right, nor saying I'm wrong. In this case, I'm just saying my preference. And and for the most part, even if you want that, ladies, there's not enough men that have that kind of money, first of all, and I would say that are willing to do that too. I think rich men do want women that kind of contribute, whatever, and I think most women want to contribute. So, but again, yes, you have your delusional ones out there that obviously you can mouth that off, ladies, but if you never get it, that means you were never actually sometimes you probably could have qualified for it. You just weren't around. You didn't put yourself. You didn't move into a state or city or whatever, a portion of the world where those men are higher concentration, and you could potentially get the dude, let alone keep him. But all right, so that's basically on the whole property thing. I know it's long-winded, but whatever. I just want to put it out there. I'm not the kind of guy to do many editing. Whatever, it's out there. I'm sure shit will get crazy. Peace.